out of shape, a specific kind of empty that I knew how to navigate. I knew the temperature of alone, I knew its weight and width, I knew which corners held the dark and which ones I could live with. But company rearranged it all, moved everything I'd placed, and left me in a room I built that I no longer recognized or faced. The silence I was running from was quieter than this. The dark I was escaping was easier to live with than the noise of being known by something that stays close. Alone was always safer than becoming someone's home. Alone was safer than the weight of being found. Alone was safer than this company that drowns. I opened every door and paid for every room. Alone was safer and I knew it, but I chose the wound. The version of me before they came through the door knew how to sleep, knew how to keep the scar, knew how to lose without a witness, knew how to fail without a sound, knew how to carry everything without anyone around. But I traded that for company and company for cost, and cost for what you let in and what you let in for what I lost, what I lost, what I gave, what I opened, what I paid. Alone was always safer and I chose this anyway. The silence I was running from was quieter than this. The dark I was escaping was easier to live with than the noise of being known by something that stays close. Alone was always safer than becoming someone's home. Alone was safer than the weight of being found. Alone was safer than this company that drowns. I opened every door and paid for every room. Alone was safer and I knew it, but I chose the wound. I know what it costs. I knew before I paid. I know what came in when I stopped being afraid. I know what the company brought. I know what the staying means. I know alone was safer, and I'd open the door again. I'd open it again. I choose the wound again, because safer isn't living. Safer is just a longer way to the same dark I walls in place. I memorized the exits of every hiding space. I told myself the silence was a fortress I had made, but fortresses keep nothing out when the threat is in the shade. Inside the shade, inside the room, inside the chest that breathes in the gloom. The safe place wasn't safe from the moment I moved in. The danger wasn't at the door, the danger lived within. Everything I built to keep it out was keeping me locked in. Every wall I raised for shelter was a wall around the thing within. Safe no more. The walls were never mine. Safe no more. I built them for the wrong design. I locked myself inside with what I feared the most. Safe no more. I was the threat. I was the ghost. The safe room has a mirror that I covered long ago. The safe room has a window with a view I wouldn't show. The safe room has a history written in the floor. The safe room isn't safe. The safe room is the core of everything I ran from, packed and carried here. The safest place I built myself is where it's loudest and most clear, most present, most alive. The danger didn't follow me. The danger helped me thrive. Everything I built to keep it out was keeping me locked in. Every wall I raised for shelter was a wall around the thing within. Safe no more. The walls were never mine. Safe no more. I built them for the wrong design. I locked myself inside with what I feared the most. Safe no more. I was the threat. I was the ghost. No lock, no wall, no room, no hall, no silence, no dark, no hiding place, no fresh start. Just this, just here, just what I built, just what I fear, just what I fear, just what I fear. Safe no more. The walls were never mine. Safe no more. I built them for the wrong design. I locked myself inside with what I feared the most. Safe no more. I was the threat. I was the ghost. I heard it in the hallway. I heard it through the wall. I heard the sound of nothing, which is loudest of them all. I checked behind the door frame. I checked beneath the floor. I checked every explanation. Then I checked them all once more. The air moves when it shouldn't. The dark breathes when it's still. And everything I know is real is bending to the will of something I mapped the sounds to silence, I timed the shifts of air. I built a system proving there was nothing standing there. And every time it crumbled, every time the proof fell short, something in the nothing was exactly what I caught, exactly what I built from years of looking in. The presence in the darkness was the presence of my skin. My own breath on the ceiling, my own step on the stair. The only thing that's ever there is me standing there, where nothing answers back. Who's there? In every shadow crack. Who's there when the silence shifts? Who's there when the whole room drifts? It's me. Who's there? Is what I dread. Who's there? I am. Who's there? I've always been the one that I was hiding from, the one I was hiding from. Who's there beyond the wall of dark? That knows me by the heart. I've searched every corner, every room inside my head. Who's there? It's me. Who's there? Is what I always here. Always here. Always here. Always here. Before the thought was clear, I was in the silence when you swore you were alone. I was in the marrow of the deepest bone. I didn't follow you from somewhere else. I grew from every version of yourself. You tried to name me, tried to cast me out, but you can't exile what you built about. You searched every corner, checked every door. You never thought to search the one you were looking for. The one you were looking for. I was always here before the fear had a name. I I traded silence for a sound that never lets me rest. I traded empty for a weight that lives inside my chest. I got what I asked for, I got exactly that. The cost of company is never coming back. The cost of company is higher than the dark. The cost of company, life somewhere past the heart. I asked to not be alone, now I can't find the door. The cost of company is everything and more. Is everything and more. The cost of company is higher than the dark. The cost of company, life somewhere past the heart. I asked to not be alone, now I can't find the door. The cost of company is everything and more. It settled in the corners that I couldn't reach. It learned the exact distance between my silence and my speech, and now it speaks before me. Finishes my thought, takes the parts I didn't offer, takes the parts I fought to keep, to hold, to call my own. The cost of company is everything you kept alone, everything locked, everything sealed, everything you buried that you thought had healed. I traded silence for a sound that never lets me rest. I traded empty for a weight that lives inside my chest. I got what I asked for, I got exactly that. The cost of company is never coming back. The cost of company is higher than the dark. The cost of company, life somewhere past the heart. I asked to not be alone, now I can't find the door. The cost of company is everything and more. Is everything and more. The cost of company is higher than the dark. The cost of company left somewhere past the heart. I asked to not be alone, now I can't find the door. The cost of company is everything and more. Oh. I paid it. I paid all of it. I paid with the silence, I paid with the dark, I paid with the version of myself comfortable. I forgot it wasn't planned. Forgot it wasn't mine. Forgot it wasn't welcome. Forgot the moment at the door when I could still have sent it somewhere else. Somewhere that wasn't here. Somewhere that wasn't the center of everything I hold dear. You let in the voice. You let in the touch. You let in the part that was just enough to make you keep the door a little more ajar. You let in everything, including what you want. What you let in doesn't leave when asked. What you let in drops its code and mask. You opened the door for one thing and one thing alone. What you let in brought everything it owned. I let it in, I held the door. I said come in and then said more. I set the table, called it home, and now I can't remember what it felt like to be alone. Without this, without it, without what I let in. What you let in doesn't leave when asked. What you let in dropped its code and mask. You opened the door for one thing and one thing alone. What you let in brought everything it I thought if someone carried it with me, the weight would split in two. That half the dark divided would be easier to move through. But weight doesn't work like math, and burdens don't divide. They multiply with witnesses, they deepen with the guide. The more I showed, the more it grew. The more I shared, the more it knew exactly how to use the space between what's mine and what is you. Two people under the same weight don't carry half each. Two people under the same dark carried by two, weighs more than one. Carried by two, under the same sun. I gave you half, you gave it back. Carried by two, and we're both on our back. Stay for free. The ones who stay need something from the company. They stay because the leaving cost them more than the remaining. They stay because your darkness feeds the thing they've been sustaining inside themselves, inside their own walls. The ones who stay through everything are the ones with nowhere else to fall. I built my worth around their presence. I measured days by who remained. I called it love when it was habit. I called it loyalty when it was pain. Shared pain, mutual weight. Two people staying because leaving feels too late. And now we hold the space between us like a truce without a treaty sign. The ones who stay are staying in the rest of the thing we couldn't leave behind. They didn't choose you for your light. They chose you for the dark. They did that's enough. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe staying without reason is the only real remaining. The only real remaining. I've run out of ways to name you. I've run out of doors to close. I've spent everything I carried, fighting something no one knows is even there, is even real, is even worth the cost of this ordeal. And I'm still standing in the same room with the same weight on the floor. I fought it until I had nothing, and it's still exactly where it was before. I'm not putting down the weapon because I've won or lost. I'm putting down the weapon because I've won or lost. I'm putting down the weapon because I've counted up the cost, and the cost of fighting is higher than the weight. The truce is in surrender. It's just too late. Just too late. The truce is not a victory. It's just what's left of me. I fought until the fighting was the only thing I knew. The truce is me agreeing to exist with you. There's a specific kind of quiet that comes after years of war. Not the silence of the winner, just the silence of what's left in store. I laid the weapons down at dusk, and nothing changed except the sound. The presence didn't celebrate, it didn't even turn around. It just stayed the way it always stayed, patient in the way that only things that know they've won can wait. I'm not putting down the weapon because I've won or lost. I'm putting I set a place for it at the table. I stopped pretending it wasn't there. I learned its rhythm in the morning. I learned to breathe its borrowed air. It doesn't speak, but I know when it shifts. I don't flinch, but I feel when it drifts. From one corner to the next, we've developed a kind of architecture of coexistence under duress. It's not comfortable, it's not what I choose. It's not the life I had before I had something to lose. But comfortable and chosen are luxuries now. Living with it is just living somehow. Living with it, not living past it. Living with it, nothing lasts like this lasts. I stop waiting for it to leave. Living with it is all I can achieve. There are days it sits so quiet, I almost forget its shape. There are days it fills the whole room, and there is nowhere left to escape. But I've stopped measuring the days by how much space it takes. I've stopped counting what it costs me. I've stopped tracking what it breaks. It's just here. The way weather is just here. The way time is just here. The way everything you can't control is just here. And you're just here with it. And that's the year. And the year after that. It's not comfortable, it's not what I choose. It's not the life I had before I had something to lose. But comfortable and chosen are luxuries now. Living with it is just living somehow. Living with it, not living past it. Living with it, nothing lasts like this lasts. I stop waiting for it to leave. Living with it is all I can achieve. This is the wait in the dark. This is breakfast. This is noon. This is the presence in the room. This is my life. This is enough. This is what living with it actually looks like. Trustfully rusted on. With it, not living past it. Living with it, nothing lasts like this lasts. I stop waiting for it to leave me. Living with it is all I can achieve. I used to measure life by what I didn't have, by what was missing from the frame, by what the silence lacked, by what the company cost, by what the presence took, by every page of everything I never got to look past. this isn't the life I thought I was meant to live. But this is what remained after everything I gave. And what remains after everything is enough. Is enough. This is enough, not what I wanted. This is enough, not what I wanted. Every room looking for something more. This is enough, this is what living is for. I was not alone, I was not safe, I was not free of the cost I paid. I was not the same after what came in. I was not the winner of what lived within. But I am here, and here is wait, and wait means something, and something after everything is more than nothing. More than the silence I was running from, more than the dark I thought I'd overcome. I am here with all of it, and all of it is enough. This isn't what I planned, this isn't what I built for. This isn't the life I thought I was meant to live. But this is what remained after everything I gave. And what remains after everything is enough. It's enough. This is enough, not what I wanted. This is enough, not what I haunted. Every room looking for something more. This is enough, this is what living is for. Cost me, I let it in, and it stayed. I carried it with someone and we both bent. I stayed because leaving cost more than the wage. And after all of it, after every